For a long time, I was looking at getting a nice pair of footwear. So I started looking into my options. I came across things like Red Wings, Wolverine 1,000 Mile boots, and the Alden Indy boots. And then while I was reading about those, I came along and heard about Whites. That's what you have in front of you. These are a custom pair of shoes. Whites, for the most part, only does custom orders. And I decided to go with these above the other ones for a variety of reasons. And one of them was comfort, because these are known for being extremely comfortable boots. I've had them now for about a week, and I've walked, actually 6 days, and within that time I've probably walked about 25 miles in them. So I do a lot of walking at school. I attend a large college university, and a couple times a week I go and visit a friend about 2 miles away, and I like to walk there. So about these boots, these are custom boots. These are what they call the Bounty Hunter model, and that's a custom model that you can get through Baker Shoes. This is an online retailer where I purchase these from, and yeah, so these are the Bounty Hunter, and what that is it means it's the Smoke Jumper model, which is their like force fighter model, but it's on a semi-dress last. So that means is the boot itself is a 6-inch smoke jumper, and then the last is kind of like the toe box area. So the shape of the toe is the shape that they put on what they call their semi-dress boot, which is kind of like an in-between boot shoe thing. So let's start off. Like, what makes these boots custom? Kind of at an odd angle. So first you choose your size, or what I did is I filled out this one form. It's where you trace your foot and you'd measure your foot in like 5 or 6 places, and then send that in. And determining, or based off of that drawing, they would decide what size of boot they were going to build for you. And then what you do is you select your leather option from about 20, it's like 30 different leather options or so. It's a crap ton. And you choose like what toe vamp leather you want, what kind of heel counter leather you want, what kind of upper leather you want. And you can see I went with the toe cap. So what I did is I did a brown Chrome XL toe vamp. The rest I did black Chrome XL. And then you see I put a toe cap on there with a medallion toe cap. So I thought that was pretty cool. And looking at the sole, I have the Mini Lug composition half sole. I like the half sole for 2 reasons. One, because you can see the leather at the bottom. I think that looks kind of cool, a little bit more old school. And you have an uninterrupted heel section back here. If you get a normal sole, which they have like 7 options or 10 options, the piece of rubber runs all the way through the leather back and kind of splits this heel up, which is somewhat beneficial as it makes the heel look smaller. But I thought this kind of made it look a little bit more like a classic boot while still having the modern sole. And I went with a single midsole. You can see though that there's 2 layers of leather. That's because of the new type of sole they have. They just have your single midsole, and then the half sole is on another piece of leather. So you can see 2 pieces. Here I have something called a half slip. And a half slip is a piece of leather that's about this big and just kind of brings up the heel another 1/4 inch. And what that does is it gives you a little bit more arch support. And while White's already known for having amazing arch support, I have incredibly high arches, so I thought that'd be nice for my arches. And then also, while this is a new style of the half sole, the old one used to have a little bit more of a cut off. Like this angle here was a little steeper, and it didn't look as nice as it did now. And the half slip, in my opinion, or in my guess, would have made it flow a little bit smoother. And then you have a nice, beautiful, easy to replace heel back here that you can see is nailed on. And unlike most soles nowadays, they glue and sew on the sole. A lot of the soles, if you get a half sole, it's just glued on. Let's see, moving up. Yeah, one of the nice things about this over the semi-dress is this has the heel counter, and this locks in your heel because the heel gives you more ankle support than the top of the boot. So this really locking in your heel and kind of like a little cup, as you can see, really gives you excellent ankle support. So this is actually, because it is the smoke jumper, this is an excellent boot. And if I wanted to, I could go hiking, but as it's such a nice boot, it's like a $500 boot, I don't really want to do that. And then moving on, you can choose what kind of hooks and loops, or what do they call it? Eyelets and hooks that you want. I went with brass eyelets and hooks. You can go all eyelets if you want. They can do like nickel or black, or they call it antique, which looks kind of nice. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a grayish brass color. It looks nice, it looks nice. And then the other option is I got a rolled top. You can also get a cut top, which is just cut. On this one, they actually roll over the leather. And then I got a pull loop. What else? Then on the insides, you can see leather liner. I have shoe trees in there. Shoe trees are very important as it pulls out the moisture and kind of keeps your boots from, it kind of like pushes out the crease a little bit. When spending a lot of money, you definitely want to get a pair of shoe trees. Ideally, you would have 2 pairs of footwear at least, and you'd rotate them every other day, and that gives the footwear a chance to just kind of like dry out, and it'll make it so it lasts a little bit longer. Okay, what else? It came with 2 laces. I have the leather laces in there, which look pretty nice. The leather laces come really long, as I'm guessing they also fit like a 10-inch boot, while this is a 6-inch. So what I've been doing is I lace it up and then I just wrap it around the side. Kind of, I don't know if that, you could call it like a hipster look or something like that, but at the moment I've done that, and then in the future I may just cut them down to what would actually be the appropriate size for this boot. Now, some things I have noticed. Let's see, you can see it in this boot a little bit better. Here, it's swelled slightly. I don't know if that's from moisture, if that's just from the leather expanding and contracting due to moisture, or what exactly that is. I have used this. You get this from free. You can get this for free from Baker's when you order a White's pair of boots, and it's just a scent-free leather protector. I believe it's kind of like a wax. I put a light coat on the boot. It's slightly, ever so slightly dark in the brown. Can't really tell with the black, obviously. When you get scuffs, you can put it in, and it kind of covers up the scuffs a little bit. But while this is Chrome XL, this is a pull-up or like oiled filled leather, and really all you need to do is use a brush, and you can kind of brush out most of the scuffs, but not all of them. And with time, scuffs look good. You can see, you can't really see too much, but scuff the front a little bit, and scuff the heels, or starting to. Just walk down, like sometimes you hit them on stairs. One thing that is kind of bound to happen, because this is a 3/4 welt, you can see the welt goes 3/4 of the way around the boot. You kind of hit the back, because there's a gap, and you kind of hit the back, and that gets bent slightly. Ever so slight crack right there from bending that, which is, I guess, is kind of annoying. At the same time, it's not. You can see the liner. I don't know if I've said this already. I ordered it with a red liner. They shipped it with a tan liner. That's fine. I thought red would have been kind of cool, but I mean, you don't really see it that much. These are all leather boots. There's no fabric in the boot. The whole entire footbed is a non-removable leather footbed, and it is wonderful. It's wonderful. When you get it, it's slightly uncomfortable for the first like 4 or 5 days. I just wore these a lot. I didn't have too much of an issue with it. And then it really starts to just mold to your foot, and it just turns into, I don't even know, it molds to your foot. It's incredible. Never quite had anything like it. You have, obviously the heels aren't too bad to replace. See, I don't have a flat surface. Let's see, maybe if I stack it against the other one. You can see they've started to wear a little bit. So just wear a little bit. I don't know if it's any more than I expected. I went with a Cuban heel. You can also get a block heel, which will just go straight down, but this is a little bit better for walking. It's kind of like the cowboy boots have them. Yeah, I mean, eventually I'm guessing I'll probably get a heel, like the heel and toe caps. Just a little piece of metal or plastic that goes on the end and lets you wear it a little longer before replacing the heels. Because resoling a pair of boots it's kind of expensive. It's like $80. You gotta ship it. I know the ship weight on these are like 8 pounds. Because I'm guessing they weigh like 2.5 pounds each. They're not light. I don't know if I mentioned this already. They come with nylon and leather laces. I have the leather laces in because it looks a little classier. They also come with these. These are, I believe they're called false tongues. I wore them for a little bit, just decided to pull them out so you could kind of see the two-tone color a little bit better. So when you get a tongue like this, it's a little easier to see on these. When you get a tongue like this, what you're supposed to do is you fold them over, because now I have 4 layers of leather between my shin and the laces, so it's just a little bit more comfortable. And then if you use the false tongue on top of that, you have 5. So it's kind of a comfort thing. It's also kind of a style thing. Well, nowadays it's for style, but it originated out of necessity. But you guys can see the grommets, or God, whatever you call it, not grommets, but whatever they call it, where they attach, how they attach it, kind of has roughed up the leather a little bit, and you can kind of see it in there. It's not a big deal, because you can't really see it when you're wearing the boot. But I just wonder for like long-term use, what is that going to do to the leather? And that's kind of all I have for now. I might have forgotten something, maybe I'll annotate it along the way. But overall, I really like the boots, and I just want to make a video that was not in Chinese, so people who are looking at whites could see what they look like. Thank you.